So what exactly is the best way to set up a lead campaign for Facebook in 2023? Well, that's exactly what I'll be going over today. What's up, everybody? Alvaro here from Alvaro Barrios Digital. And while I don't know if this is a true statistic, if I had to guess, I would say that by far the most commonly used and created campaign inside of Facebook is a lead generation campaign. Obviously, there's lots of other objectives like purchases, engagement, video views, but I really do feel that probably if I were to do some deep dive research, lead is the one that's used by far the most. And that's why it's so pivotal to set up correctly, because it's a very powerful tool, but only if you actually set it up in the right way. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you step by step today. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, so to get this lead generation campaign going, we're going to go ahead and click on the create button right here. And then here is where we're going to choose our objective. Now, if you don't know what any of these are, I actually have a very detailed video that goes over each and every single one of these objectives, as well as their sub-objectives. So I will link that in the show notes for you below. But here, in this case, we're going to go ahead and click on leads right here, and we're going to go and click continue. So then from here, you want to give your campaign name a very specific name. So what I like to do, I like to say the objective that I'm using, right? If I'm using video views, I might just abbreviate that as video views. If I'm using engagement, I'll title this engagement. So here, in this case, I'm using the conversions objective or lead objective. That's fine as well. And then I want to say what I'm running this to. So webinar. And then I mentioned the countries that I am trying to target here. So USA and Canada. And then the type of traffic I'm going after, which in this case is cold traffic. So that's how I like to name things. So everything else looks good here. I like to leave A/B test off and advantage campaign budget off. So then we jump over to the ad set, and here you want to mention who it is that you're targeting, as well as the placements that you're going after. So here I'm going after speakers, and we are going to run this ad on all placements. Perfect. Verify that the one you're using here is website. We're not doing instant forms in this case or any of these other ones. Those are actually completely different types of campaigns. So we're going for a website lead generation campaign. Performance goal, we're going to leave it at default of maximize conversions, and then we're going to choose the lead event. Now, for this to be used, you do have to make sure that your standard event is created. I have that in a separate video, so I will link that for you as well below. All right, show more options. This is something that is easily the most skipped part here, because the default attribution setting here is 7 days after clicking and 1 day after viewing. But I can tell you just from lots and lots of experience that that is not the best setting for a lead generation campaign. It's often, not always though, but often the best setting for a purchase campaign. But we're not doing a purchase campaign, right? We are doing a lead campaign. So you want to click on edit. And then you want to switch this over to the 1 day click or view. You're going to get much better results this way. Here, you leave this the same, delivery type, leave it the same. And then in this case, we're going to leave dynamic creative off. Go ahead and set your budget. And then we're going to select the start date. This is going to go live on Valentine's Day, actually. And then for the start time, I always like for them to go live at 1 a.m. Pacific time. Now, I do not encourage you to have ads go live in the middle of the day, the afternoon, the evening, or anything like that. So right now it's 2:09 p.m. as I am creating this. I would not want this to go live today, because once it goes live, Facebook is going to try to spend all $30 still within that same day. So if this goes live at 4 p.m., then it's going to try to spend $40 between 4 p.m. and midnight, which I don't want, right? So that's why you always want everything to go live nice and early in the morning and at some point in the future. So I'm selecting tomorrow, 1 a.m. Pacific time. If there's a specific end date, you can go ahead and select this as well. But for this one, I'm going to leave that one blank. So now we're going to start putting together our audience. So under the custom audiences, I will come back up here and add an exclusion, but not at the moment, because I do want to see my audience size over here. Once you start messing with the custom audiences, the audience size goes away. So first and foremost, I'm going to select my locations. Canada is one of them. United States is the other. And then I want to change this to people living in this location, because if you have the default, you're actually going to end up getting impressions all over the world if people are traveling and vacationing in the US or Canada in this case, which I don't want, right? I want people who actually live in either US or Canada, so that's why I like to go with that option right there. Here I'm going to modify the age range. That's because that's what is specific to this client. People in their 20s really aren't their ideal audience, neither are people who are over 65. So in this case, I'm going to go from 30 to 59. Now, obviously, that's dependent on your business, right? So you might want to leave it 18 to 65 or whatever it is. Just wanted to let you know that, you can certainly modify that. And I'm going to leave this at all genders. So now I'm here at detailed targeting. And like I said, I'm targeting people who are interested in speaking, public speaking, all that kind of stuff. So I already did my research on this part, so I kind of know the options that I'm going for here. So I'm going to put in here TED, which I'm going to select TED conference. Perfect. And then I'm going to hit the suggestions button right here, and I'm going to choose motivational speaking, motivational speaker, public speaking, speaker. Basically anything that says speaking or speaker is what I'm going after here. Public speaking. And that looks about it right there. So I can see here from these options that I've selected, my audience size so far is 25 to 30 million. But I do want to define this a little bit further, because not only do these people have to be interested in speaking, they do have to be business owners. So I'm going to hit the button right here. It says define further, and I'm going to say must match entrepreneurship. There we go. So now what I'm telling the algorithm is like, hey, they have to be interested in public speaking, but they also have to be interested in entrepreneurship. If they're interested in entrepreneurship, more likely than not, they are a business owner, and that's exactly the type of person that I'm looking for in this case. So now I'm actually going to scroll back up, and I'm going to come to the custom audiences, and I'm going to hit on exclude right here. And I am going to exclude all lead events in the last 30 days. Now, in order to put that together, you do have to go to your audiences tab and create that manually. It's not going to pop up automatically for you. But the reason I'm excluding the lead events for the last 30 days is because once someone is actually registered or opts in as a lead, I don't want them to see the ads anymore, right? If they've signed up, they're signed up, and I don't want to annoy them with the same ad over and over again. So I'm going to exclude the people who sign up as leads. And then in this case, I am going to leave it as all placements, but there is a time and place where you might want to hit manual placements and maybe you only choose the stories placement, or maybe only choose the newsfeed placements and stuff like that. But in this case, we're going to keep things simple and just choose all placements. So that is everything there now set up at the ad sets level. Finally, we come down to the ad level. And then we're going to give this a name, but I'll come back a little bit later to give it a unique name. Make sure you're choosing the right page and the right Instagram account, so everything is good right there. Manual upload, leave it there. Single image or video. If you're doing carousel, you're gonna have to select this right here. And carousel is a fantastic option for ad creative. But in this case, I'm going with single image or video. And I'm also gonna deselect this multi-advertise your ads option right here. So first and foremost, you're gonna put in your copy. So I'm gonna grab this from a different page I have open here. I'm going to paste it in there, and always put a link inside your body copy. That's going to increase your click-through rates. That way people don't always have to scroll all the way down in order to opt in. Then you're gonna grab that same link and then come down and make sure it's in the URL field, paste it in there, and then we're good. Then we're going to add a headline here, become the go-to thought leader in your industry. Perfect. And then if I want to, I can modify the call to action button right here. But in this case, I think actually learn more works just fine. So I'm going to leave it as learn more. Next, I'm going to add my creative. So in this case, I'm going to choose an image. And the image I want is already in my account. So I'm going to just hit on see all, select this one, and go about it that way. Now, I do like for this to be in a 1:1 aspect ratio for the newsfeed, which is where the vast majority of your placements are going to be. So I'm going to modify that right there. Click on next, and then click on done. Perfect. And then you can add an optional description. I'm just gonna say optional right there. I typically don't do it, but just wanted to let you know that that is there and available for you. And then that is it right here, all at the ad level. So then we're gonna give it a name. Again, you want to give it something that will be recognizable. This whole ad is about how people have been struggling to communicate effectively. So I'm going to title it just like that. Perfect. Now, I always encourage people to run more than one variation of their ad, because if you go with just one variation, you're pretty much hoping that this one variation is the one that's going to work. But obviously, we don't know if that's going to be the case. And so, make sure you go with different variations, different copy variations, and different creative variations. Now, this is also dependent on your budget. So in this case, this client is spending $30 a day. So that means in my case, I'm comfortable having up to 3 ads in here. If I was only spending $10 a day, I would leave it at 1 ad. But this client is spending $30 a day, so I'm okay having up to 3 ads in there. And I normally would have multiple copy variations and multiple creatives, but I'm just trying to keep things simple for this tutorial. So I'm gonna just do another creative variation. So the fastest and easiest way to do that is just hit the duplicate button. And then I'm going to title this one video, because I'm going to switch this one to a video. I'm going to delete this creative, add video. I'm going to choose the video that I want. And then that is it right there. So I've got my 2 different types of ads. One's an image, one's a video. Trying to test out what goes right there. I have all my settings at the asset level and all my settings correctly at the campaign level. So now it's just a matter of hitting that publish button. And there you go. That's all there is to it. All right, and there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that step-by-step tutorial. As always, if you have any questions about anything you saw in this video today, just let me know in the comments below. And if there's any future topics you want me to cover, also let me know. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.